Evening, everyone. We're going to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 1 tonight. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you pause, grab your Bible, have a look at Ecclesiastes 1, we'll look at it together. Verse 2, of course, tells us a bit of what's going on, the big theme that happens all the way through Ecclesiastes here. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Ecclesiastes is often seen as a very negative sort of book. And well, it's hardly the sort of thing you would go to if you need cheering up. But Ecclesiastes doesn't have to be negative if you read it properly, if you read it, the whole thing in light of its conclusion. Basically, to give you a spoiler if you've never read Ecclesiastes, the idea is that everything is meaningless without God to make sense of it. The word meaningless, or the word that's translated meaningless here, and is so often repeated through this book, is actually really hard to translate, which is why if you read different translations, you'll see that it comes out differently. The word could be translated as breath, or emptiness, or futility. I mean, you get the idea, something that can't be grasped, or something that can't be understood. And what kinds of things are like that in chapter 1? Well, besides everything, he mentions work. He mentions the daily grind, that cycle going around and around. The things that we see and hear, the entertainment, that sort of thing. That all we do will soon be forgotten. That chasing knowledge and wisdom, we're still a long way from the conclusion here, the conclusion that I mentioned here. So what's going on in this chapter? Even from the beginning, we can see the emptiness of having everything. That's really what's going on here. We've got a guy who's got everything, and ultimately he has no meaning. But he says finding meaning in all that stuff is like trying to catch the wind. What do we make of everything that's going on in the moment? We have one thing to offer people that can make sense of it all. That is, we know the one who brings meaning, even meaning to suffering. The one who can relate to us in suffering, the one who suffered for us, the one who's working for our good to make us more like Jesus through this, more loving, more patient, more kind, more forgiving, and so on.